terms, ganyan. The nepotism, tama ka, Ali, the connection. So parang, minsan it's also not about competence. Siguro share ko na lang din na parang feeling ko, ang daming kong kilala sa industriya na alam kong magagaling na kailangan mabigyan ng break. Diba? Pero hindi sila nabibigyan ng proper break. Ang nabibigyan ng break yung mga iba na dahil may connection, dahil may parang, pero diba, these people, they feel bad kasi parang hindi ba ako magaling, am I not good enough? Parang, no kids, children. Parang, it's
you
not...
are good enough. You are enough. It's just that you were not given that chance. You're not given that opportunity. You're not born with that opportunity.
Yes.
This is a podcast series produced by Hiraya Media featuring our conversations with Filipinos from across the world. This podcast has only one goal, to echo what is necessary. So sit back, relax, and welcome to Hiraya Talks.
May tanong din ako sa Elijah kasi parang you're entering into this world and kunwari, if I'm going to be get invited right now to give a commencement speech, for instance, to students, what will I say? And di ba usually, work hard. Parang may feeling ako, I think last night ko lang siya naisip na parang, no, I will not tell that to those students. Na parang, no, parang you will enter a world that is unfair, unjust.
Di ba very pessimistic?
And it's yes,
pero I want to know kung anong gusto mong marinig nila.
It's pessimistic, pero but what I'm really
parang it's an eye-opener for them.
Oo, parang you have that mindset and you're entering that world, but parang pero siguro doon nga mawawala, tatanggalin mo yung entitlement sa kanila na parang 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 minsan minsan kasi 'di ba may feeling ka na
sa akin
medyo ipoprune lang natin.
Parang I feel lang like minsan kasi parang 'di ba may mindset tayo na parang the world owes us or something ganyan. That's the ideal world. How I wish the world is unfair that when I work hard I'm given this break. I'm given but that is not, to be honest, that is not my experience.
Rarely.
Yes. And it's not to discourage you guys, it's actually to prepare you guys that you are going to enter an unfair world. But at the end of the day, ang sasabihin ko din naman is that is not an excuse for you to give up on your dreams or to do that or not to not do the right thing again, to go back to not having an integrity, di ba? Parang it's just that prepare yourself for that, di ba? Prepare yourself for that world.
It's conditioning their mindset as early as now, but at the same time offering the perspective that okay, given that the world is already unfair, what can you do based on your circumstance?
Maganda yun.
And it's an introspect na rin on what you're doing kasi. Na parang, as early as now, as young as you are, you should know, or at least, you are in the exploratory phase on where your path will be. Para at least, kita mo na sa sarili mo pa lang, or as early as now pa lang, na gusto kong i-try dito. And na-open na yung perspective ko na it's not gonna be rainbows and glitters.
It's not a walk in the park.
Exactly. But at least I wanna try. Yun.
And yung sinabi mo din, Ali, kanina, di ba, na parang you-emphasize na it's not that you're not good enough. Maybe nga ang ma-realize mo, the world is not good enough for you.
Yun.
Di ba? Because you deserve better.
Kailangan ko yun sa t-shirt.
Charon.
Delulu is the Solulu.
Pero gusto ko malaman.
Yes.
Kay Elijah.
Yes, Elijah.
Anong graduate ka na, di ba, Elijah?
Yes.
Graduate na kami.
Trabaho siya sa
Sabay
Hiraya.
sila.
Natrabaho sila sa Hiraya. Hindi ko alam kung graduate na sila and everything. Pero, hindi ko alam kung sino nagsalita sa commencement mo, pero if you were to graduate again, ano yung gusto mo marinig from someone?
Ganda passion.
Actually.
Pageant.
Actually, gusto ko yung sabi ni Sir Jancy na ano.
Sir Jancy.
Sir Jancy na ano, yung dapat realistic tayo sa ano. Kasi parang lagi, for example, example ko sarili ko, dati narinig ko as a child na parang, once pag graduate ka, tatanggapin ka basta mataas grades mo or whatever. Parang siniset mo yung expectation sa bata na everything's gonna be sunshines and rainbows after you graduate. Pero ayun nga, sometimes we just need a realistic view na parang may chance na ma-exploit ka or like since bago ka pa lang baka ibaba yung sahod mo or something. Parang dapat may ganun na magsasabi sa'yo na expect na it's not going to be like easy. So like mas maganda nga na may realistic view on what's going to happen after you graduate.
Yeah.
So yun.
Parang gusto mong i-prepare ka. Parang I think that's more na parang you prepare these people, these kids sa reality. Kasi minsan parang you just throw them into the ocean full of sharks. It's parang they won't know how to swim. And I think a commencement speech would help, like a realistic commencement speech would help na parang okay, you provide them with salbabida. Wow.
Yeah.
You provide them with salbabida. Very naman, diba? Pero you provide them with some, like a life vest, you know. Something like a small support. I think that would help na parang, especially hindi lang sa parang moral, but also mental health na parang, like you said, going back to what you said na parang, they would feel na parang, this is normal. Kasi diba, parang
may entry ako dyan, Ali.
Oo, kasi diba walang nagsabi sa kanila na parang, hindi to na ang normal na parang if you work hard, yun yung normal, yun yung normalize, diba? Pero hindi yun yung reality.
Hindi talaga.
Oo. So parang, now, you give them that realize, or that parang input na parang, okay, so they feel better about themselves, diba? I think, honestly, if someone had told me that before I graduated, or gonna, would have saved me a lot of therapy.
Uy, may joke kami ng ganyan ng friend ko. Si Christine, she also wrote for us before.
Yes.
I think, ano ba yung sinulat ni Christine? Yung during election, yung marriages na na-affect during the election. So, she's one of our writers in Hiraya Media. Parang nag-usap kami ni Christine and she told me na parang, about adulting. Tapos sabi namin, wala nagsabi ng totoo about adulting.
Scam
Because
na.
syempre, di ba, scam siya. It's a scam. Kasi parang, di ba, yung mga parents natin, parang, it looks like parang they got it all together and got it all figured out, ganyan. Pero siguro hindi lang din sila ganong type of na to be vulnerable in front of you, ganyan. So when you graduated or when you entered the workforce and became an adult, parang
everything is a shock. Yes.
And feeling mo hindi ako marunong mag-adult, hindi ko to kaya, ganyan. Hindi, parang perhaps
Normal.
yung previous generation hindi lang masyadong na-model sa atin. Yung, diba, they weren't just vulnerable enough to tell us the truth.
Na-realize ko lang, nagsimula yan sa high school, feeling ko, na parang, dapat A+, or
kailangan valedictorian ka,
kailangan matataas ang grades mo
medal.
para makapunta ka sa Big 3. Diba, parating yun yung Big 3, or parang kailangan maganda yung grades mo para makagrad or makapunta ka sa college, ganyan. Tapos parang, siniset natin yung sarili natin na to fail. Kasi, di ba, parang, paano kung hindi naman ako mataas yung, honestly, kasi hindi naman high school, hindi naman ako katalinuhan. Tapos parang, some kids, they bloom in college. Diba?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
diba? Tapos parang yun yung parang nakakaano sa mental health ng mga bata na parang,
They used to be a performer and then now they are...
Yes, tapos parang biglang, college, hindi lang, na rin biglang, hindi lang pala ako yung matalino kasi may iba-iba rin ng mga matalino from other schools. Tapos parang nakaka-affect ng mental health yun, diba? Na parang, so I think we set ourselves up, I think our parents set ourselves up for failure. I know they mean well, but at the same time, na parang I hope na parang they don't, like as our generation, we don't do that to our kids, our future kids, na parang just let them do whatever they want to do. Obviously, we hope na mas mataas na medyo meron ka na namang matututunan. But at the same time, we don't pressure them to, parang to perform really, really well. Kasi
na parang nagiging batayan na lang. Exactly.
Yes, the only way to get into like a good school is to get good grades in high school. Mga Polinians nung to graduate ng 2010, feeling ko malalaman, ma-recognize nila yun. I forgot the name of our teacher, pero sabi niya, you don't make good the schools don't make you make good schools. You make the schools good, right? So parang, sure, Ateneo, LaSalle, UP, na yun, pero it shouldn't validate you. Na parang as a person, I think we put so much validation into getting into good schools na yung mga tao na yung mga kids na hindi nakakapasok sa Big 3. Parang ganun. Tapos parang sa mga work rin, 'di ba?
Sorry, first of all, based on my experience, parang I've hired people myself. I've worked with a lot of people already and I know their schools. Of
Not
course,
everyone.
given yung big 3, big 4,
Yeah.
okay, given.
Big 4 nga pala, okay.
Okay, given yun.
Kalimutan ko
But,
UST, sorry.
I saw also a lot of competent people or kids outside the
That's-
big
top
4.
I think
yes.
that's yun yung point na parang
It's
it
not the
doesn't
only
mean,
yardstick.
Yeah, it doesn't mean na
Oo.
if you're from the big 4, magaling ka automatically.
And,
So we put
and I also worked with a lot of incompetent people
yeah.
from the big 4.
Yeah.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Sorry yan.
Galit na galit si Kuya.
Sorry parang so parang di ko naman kasi I have lots of friends hindi naman from UP, from Ateneo, and they are competent people, they are good people,
Yeah.
hindi sila mayabang, they don't even sila mismo narinig ko nagsabi na wala naman yung sa school
Yeah.
ganyan, sila
Yeah.
din naman. Pero parang meron din ako mga nakatrabaho from those schools na waller, sorry
Yeah.
And pero in the same way na may ang daming mga bata na nakakatrabaho ko from FEU, from my own alma mater. Sorry, I have we have
Letran.
Lauren here.
Letran.
Of course, Elijah from Letran. I'm from Letran Primary. I have a bit, mataas hang school spirit ko talaga. Kasi talagang parang I built my dreams in Letran, and I also found my lifelong friends in Letran, ganyan. Pero even I've worked with a brilliant writer from UE, who also wrote for us before, si Dip Mariposque, who is a Palangka Award winner right
Amen.
now. And I've worked with, nabanggit ko na FEU, may marami, PLM. I mean, sorry, parang,
They don't monopolize
yes,
the
and
idea.
siguro
the good
yeah,
idea.
and parang feeling ko,
Yun yung-
parang, ang ayoko lang dyan sa idea na yan is, parang, ayan na naman tayo sa othering.
Yeah.
Sa idea of othering na hate ko.
Yeah, I think the point is that we put so much in that school. Yung name, parang we put so much, parang
We
put
over-glorify
in-
them.
Yeah, we put them in the pedestals, right? Na parang, tas parang even as kids, as the high school students, we put them in pedestals. Na parang, if I get into Ateneo, if I get into UP, everything will fall into place. Like I will get a better job. Like in reality, hindi naman minsan, 'di ba? Na parang so that fucks with your mental health. Right? Na parang, kasi we put so much...
Parang it's the end of my life, not just because as early as that.
Oo, diba? So, I think a dose of reality for some of these kids will help so much. And I'm sure you would agree, diba? Na parang, like you said, Elijah, na parang, parang bigyan a life, like, salbabida lang. It would help, it will go a long way.
Tsaka
And
ano rin,
before natin makalimutan, i-entry na ako doon na
Okay, go.
who is the speaker that I want
Oy.
to listen to dapat nung ng graduation ko. For me, please lang, don't give me the exceptional students or the exceptional alumni. Give me those
I
people
love
who
that.
I can really relate to. Kasi lagi nilang, I used to work as a working student talaga while I was in FEU. Shout out Tama Rouse. Let's go Tama Rouse. Don't give me those people kasi they really work hard for that and we're not glorifying them because of their experiences. That should have been a given na dapat. Education should be for everyone. That's a basic right.
That's right.
But give me those people na they yung makaka-relate ka on a normal basis.
Right.
Kasi they will really provide you that
The reality.
insight. Exactly.
Yeah.
Na life is really unfair. And then, everything that you will do should be coming from you and you alone. Na parang dapat, on yourself pa lang, you know na, ito yung path na gusto ko, I won't hear it about A or from B or C. Dapat ito yung gusto ko, be firm about it, and then do shit about it. Kasi we're hearing a lot of these glorified versions of poverty na, si A nga galing sa hirap, naging scholar, nakagraduate, anong nangyari
You
sa'yo?
romanticize
Exactly. So parang don't give me those narrative. Yes, it's helpful,
Yeah,
but
Inspiring.
it's not the cup of tea for everyone.
That's right. Parati natin ginagawa yun as a Filipino society na si A lumaki sa hirap tapos look at her now.
Exactly.
Parang,
Those
hindi naman ako ganun.
Those are exceptional people. Parang mga 2% of the population lang yon. How about the majority? What's the narrative of the 98%?
Yeah.
And parang ako feeling ko the best advice isn't really something that's imposed to you. The best advice is an advice that brings you back to yourself.
That grounds you.
That
Yes.
makes you remember your own voice. But an advice that doesn't, force a path on you, but rather makes you find your own path. Parang, and I mean, given na yung sabi mo nga, parang, who do I want to learn from, ganyan. Feeling ko, ganun din ang essence ng mentorship for me. Parang, ang isang magaling na mentor, hindi niya sinasabi na ganito dapat.
Yes.
At ito yung ginawa ko, ito din dapat ang gawin mo. Hindi, parang, ginaguide ka lang ng isang mentor, ng isang bosses, ng isang advice, whether that's a person or whatever it is that you get, where you get your advice
Your guidance
diba?
from.
Or your guidance from. It brings you back to yourself.
So,
If it doesn't do such thing, parang I think that's bad mentorship.
And
That's
here's the
bad
thing.
advice.
Here's the thing. Hear advices, but also yourself assess it. Is it really applicable to my life and my circumstance?
That's right. I think I think we villainize failure too much. I say that na parang, I can't fail. You should fail. I think the trial and error is part of life, and failure is a great experience. It's a great lesson. Like, fail. Like, how many times, it doesn't matter. Like, if you, say for example, bar exam, nag-fail ka 4 times, so what? At least alam mo na kung ano yung nasa bar exam, diba? Experience is a great lesson. I mean, failure is a great lesson to all of us. I think we villainize failure too much. You can't fail. Otherwise, what will you do? I think you have to fail.
A part of the culture kasi here in the Philippines is more of straight A ka dapat lagi. You should always be performing without thinking really na na-inculcate na sa atin deeply yung practice na yon na if hindi ko na 100 yung up to 100 test ko, I am not parang hindi na ako parte ng pamilyang to.
Nakakatawa kasi kahit sa Amerika ganyan din, diba? Asian Americans, you have to excel in everything. You have to excel in academics, you have to excel in extracurricular activities kasi parating yun yung sinasabi nila parating way to get into a good school rin sa Amerika. If you want to get into Harvard, you have to
the Ivy League schools.
The Ivy League schools. Kahit na hindi ko alam, hindi ako yung parang we put so much into academics na I think putting so much into academics, we failed the kids.
Yeah.
And parang we put so much we emphasize doing good in school too much, so we failed the kids. Kasi what if they don't?
Exactly.
What if some kids don't just learn in traditional
such,
schools?
exactly.
Diba? So parang that gives them sobrang problems, issues with mental health. Kasi oh my gosh, I'm not as good as her. Like I've experienced that. Kasi in high school and some kids are really like smarter than me. Ganun. Tapos parang it gave me so much insecurity. And I'm sure like other kids have gone through that as well. And I think it's very detrimental to us as a society.
Your statement really, Ali, has 2 nuggets. The first nugget is that there is life beyond the 4 corners of a classroom.
That's right.
And then the second one is there is multiple intelligence.
That's right.
Na parang you're not really bounded by the IQ. There's also an EQ. There are different classes of intelligence that we can harmonize to really have a community that really everyone flourishes. Na wala magkakaagawan or parang ang mga bituin nga nagniningning ng bawat isa. Diba?
Yung IQ tuloy, napaisip ako kasi nung nag-enroll ako sa St. Paul, itetest yung IQ mo. Tapos parang my mom, shout out my mom, but she put so
May
much...
na-trigger pala tayo kay Ali.
She put so much into that IQ test. Kasi ang taas sa IQ ko as a 13-year-old, kasi pumasok ata ako in school, as a 13-year-old, pumasok ako ng high school, 13 years old, 12 years old ata, gano'n. Tapos parang, mom ko, tuwan, taas daw ng IQ ko, gano'n. So, parang, we put so much into that. Parang, in reality, hindi naman relevant.
Yeah.
In reality, hindi naman relevant sa workforce ang ang grade mo, ang GPA mo. Yung sasabihin mo ba sa manager mo, 3.9 ako, or sa 1
Uno ako.
something ako sa school, ganyan.
And saka parang I've heard once from, I think it's parang this spiritual teacher na si Gary Zukav. I read his book also, The Seat of the Soul. parang meron siyang podcast or video dun sa Instagram niya na parang sinabi niya na sa history, nasa may phase ng history which is the previous part of our history na cognition yung priority. And cognition, and it's not bad. Parang yun yung, nung time na yun siya. Diba? Na parang, so we put so much premium on IQ nga siguro ganyan. But we're now entering an era daw na hindi na lang cognition ang nagiging sukatan ng or ang tinatap ng humanity, 'di ba? There, yun nga, emotional intelligence or parang parang for some,
multifaceted na talaga.
Oo, parang consciousness na tinatawag, 'di ba, ng mga spiritual teachers ganyan. So parang and ako, parang ang taas niyang or an abstract niya conversation. But for me, basically parang ano lang naman siya parang bawat tao hindi lang naman intelligence or IQ ang ano natin. May iba-iba tayong bahagi that make up our humanity. So parang minsan napapabayaan natin yung ibang part na yun, and we even make other people insecure about the fact na. Pero sa totoo lang, even the most going back to yung sinabi ni Ali about, na-mention mo kanina yung CEO. Pero di ba, even na CEO,
It's still a part of economy, di ba?
kaya nga maraming assistance yan Hindi niya kaya mag-isang i-run ng kumpanya. May weaknesses yan. May magaling siya, kaya siya napunta dyan sa situation na yan. Pero may weaknesses yan. May mga tao yan. May VP yan. May SVP yan for marketing. Kasi kung siya
na may sasalo dun sa pagkukulang
niya. So,
niya.
it
takes a village.
Yes. Diba? And
Right.
that village should complement each other.
Right.
Diba? And ako personally, alam ko yung weakness ko sa work, ganyan, na parang dati akala ko kasi I have to be everything. You reach a point in your career, Elijah and Lauren, na tatanggapin mo radically what you can and you cannot offer.
Right.
And then, that's when the humility comes in to ask for help. Like ako, for example, ang dynamics namin ni Ali, I can tell her na, Ali, can you do this? I can't do this. And she gets it na parang, okay, ako na yan, Jancy, and then do this. Parang so mabilis yung galawan namin dalawa, di ba?
It's
So
more
parang,
of the dynamics.
yes,
Discovering
ganun yung tandem mo, ganun yung dynamics. So parang, because there's mutual respect and humility na parang to admit what we can and we cannot offer. So si Ali would also ask me na, Jancy, can you look at this story for me? Can you edit this? Can you ano? Parang alam namin yung strengths and weaknesses to isa't isa. So parang doon nag-work yung partnership, di ba? So parang, and doon run yung isang organization or isang endeavor kapag may ganun. So, di ba, parang why would you impose ngayon yung standards sa mga bata na they need to be everything.
Yeah,
they need to be everything for everyone, di ba? And when you were mentioning kanina din, Lauren, you want someone to be relatable, di ba? Instead of being the exceptional, the outstanding, di ba? Sa mga, learning from people like that or hearing a commencement speech from those people. And connecting it dun sa sinabi ni Ali, ultimately, what makes that person relatable is not their successes. It's the failure part.
Yeah.
Di ba usually in a commencement speech, ang unang ini-introduce is parang, he graduated from, he did this, and all of the accomplishments. Di ba? All of the accomplishments of this person. Ako parang, may feeling ako na, if I'm going to the commencement speech, of course, they will introduce you like that. But I want to talk to the students and tell them that to forget everything they just heard about me and listen to all of my failures in between those successes. Because parang, kaya lagi namin sinasabi ng mga writer friends ko na parang, kung napanood nyo yung Inside Out, di ba at some point, ang annoying ni Joy.
Yes.
And there are a lot of real-life people na ganon.
Super optimistic na wala na sa lugar.
Oo. And I feel like, sa totoo lang, Joy is not exactly relatable. Parang it's aspirational. Of course, I don't want people to think na ang sinasabi ko dito is, let's not embrace our happiness, ha? No. That's not what I'm talking about. All I'm saying here is that, minsan, when people are too happy, and they are in that high. Literally, high ka kapag happy ka. You're not relatable.
Yeah.
But when a person is sad, di ba, when a person is, feeling ko yun pa nga yung
Kasi
sadness.
misery loves company.
Oo. And sadness, it's what brings us together. Sa
yeah.
totoo lang for
Binds
me.
us, yeah.
So parang ako, you need to be in touch with both your joy and your sadness, your success and your failure. Because, kunwari sa failure, doon tayo nagtatagpo-tagpo.
Yes.
Doon tayo nagre-relax. At nare-realize natin, ay shit, parang,
Pare-parehas lang pala tayo dito.
Pare-parehas lang pala tayo.
Na parang kahit mayaman ka, mahirap
Yes.
ka, may pinagdadaanan tayo. Different context.
Lahat
lang.
tayo nag-fail.
Pero,
Oo.
exactly.
Di ba? Parang please, tell the truth more often about your failures. So that we live in a more compassionate and gentler world, 'di ba? When we admit our failures and when we don't shame our failures, 'di ba? When we para 'di ba? Pagsabi tayo ng totoo. Pagsabi tayo ng totoo sa isa't isa, uy, alam mo ako din nag-fail ako sa ganito, ganyan. Kasi
pero genuine.
Yes. Kasi ang social media hindi nagsasabi ng totoo eh. Para always remember that it's just a snapshot of a day, of a life. After that snapshot, what happens next?
Yes,
and no one posts about their failures or about their sadness, diba? So we need to go out of social media, go out of digital, and go ngayong tapos ng pandemya, parang let's talk to each other face to face, 'di ba? And really feel each other, feel our miseries, feel our failures. Hindi ko sinasabing mag tayo, wag
tayo mag-pity party.
Pity party. No, parang it's more of a compassionate party.
Yes.
'Di ba? An empathy party. Baka
I understand you, I
From
feel
pity
you.
party to empathy party.
Gusto ko yan. Uy,
Parang,
gawa tayo
what
ng
do you
party,
need?
empathy party. Gusto ko yan. Yung first annual Hiraya Media party.
Empathy party.
Parang, I think we left, kasi pinag-usapan natin yung Eat the Rich kanina, diba? Na parang, I think we moved past it kasi I love words. So many subset. But, yung Eat the Rich, I think kasi, sobrang layo. Parang, gusto ko lang ibalik tayo sa Eat the Rich na parang tinanong nga ni Jancy, bakit parang naging ganun yung natin, view natin na parang, yun nga kasi napag-usapan nga natin na parang sometimes it's really, wala na talagang way up. Parang we've decided na, ito na tayo. Parang gano'n, di ba?
Parang hands up.
Oo, parang okay. Now, naiinis tayo kasi yung sinasabi nila, yung mga mayayaman, kasi daw, di ba, magte-trickle down yung pera nila kasi gagawa sila ng jobs, di ba? Shout out sa lalaking nagsabi sa akin na trickle down economics work. It does not work! Pero sinasabi nila parati yon na it does not work. So parang ngayon tayo parang fuck you. 'Di ba? Na parang may pera ka, wala kang ginagawa for other people, 'di ba? So parang ano pang point mo?
Ang question
diba?
dito is, are they really willing to share it with others?
That's why that's why they eat the rich kasi they're not willing to share with others and they're so out of touch. That's why we're like, fuck you, fuck the rich, right? Diba? Eat the rich, diba? So, yun, I think yun yung point na parang kasi nag-give up na tayo. Hindi naman give up na parang we've realized na it's really, really hard to be rich. Na it's really a subset of people who's really rich na wala nang makakaano nun. It's only the 1% talaga. Yung 1% it stays the 1%, right? Na parang okay, wala na, sige, fuck you na lang. Diba? Parang hindi naman sa out of jealousy, pero parang fuck you, nasa iyo lahat ng pera. Na parang hindi ka rin naman tumutulong, so fuck you. Diba? So shoutout ulit sa lalaki na nagsabi sa akin na trickle down economics does not work.
Diba?
Does not work. Cute ka sana kaso sinabi mo yun.
When you open your mouth,
So -1 po. Kaya sorry.
malaking bagay. Pero ako Elijah, curious ako na di ba parang both of you, si Lauren nag-share din nung kanina, nung kanya naman, na parang you are entering this world. 'Di ba? Na medyo nauna na kami sa inyo and parang andito na kami actually dito sa mundo ng workforce, na parang yung sa generation, I want to hear naman na parang anong insights nyo about all these things? May iba na ba kayong sensibilidad or goals? Share it to us na parang given the situation of the world right now, na it seems that the world is burning literally because of climate change.
But we have to keep the lights on.
Tapos may gera, my God, may tawag dito, ano pa ba, parang nagkakakaling nyo lang sa pandemya. Kasi generation nyo yung parang online to hybrid to face-to-face.
Kami yung guinea pigs of all guinea pigs.
Right.
So parang ang dami yung pinagdaanan actually, 'di ba? So parang ang dami yung kasi kami mga millennials medyo may hinga kami, medyo may normalcy yung world namin nung college kami, ganyan. Parang kasi parang literal ngayon paradigm shift siya, especially that you are a broadcasting student. So you're entering a media industry that's totally different. So yun, parang I wanna hear more about you guys. Ano yun? Ano yung feeling nun? Ano yun?
Ayun. What else? Siguro sa like, for example, yun nga, nagkaroon nga ng shift. Especially since one of the biggest media, anong tawag?
Network.
Media networks,
The shutdown.
the shutdown. So parang, noong una, we were like, paano to? Like, how do we adjust to this? Yun nga, since it's one of the biggest, parang nagkaroon ng, parang paradigm shift in a way.
Yeah.
Yun
And
nga, kasi-
shock.
Oo,
Na parang,
shock din. Kasi,
paano na?
kasi parang,
Okay lang, kaya go.
like, paano yun? Like, isa siya sa mga, one of the biggest companies na nagpo-provide sa amin ng jobs. Tapos nawala. Parang, what do we do? Do we go to the other side? Or do we go to yung smaller ones? Parang, napaisip din kami na parang, what do we do now? So yun. Tapos recently, parang ang nangyari, most of my batchmates, di kami nag-focus sa mga malalaking companies. We focused on the smaller ones. Kasi nga, parang mas matututo kami dun sa mas maliit na companies compared sa bigger ones. Yun din napansin namin during our OJT na mas hands-on ka pag nasa smaller companies ka. Kasi nga, parang, as much as they need people din sa smaller companies, there's more experience there. Kasi nga, aside from giving you bigger jobs, kasi I've heard from other na ang nangyayari, pag sa bigger companies, I'm not gonna name any names, kasi nga, I don't wanna get cancelled or anything. Pero yun nga, parang ginagawa lang nila small tasks.
Right.
Parang,
Admin stuff.
Admin stuff lang or parang, it's not the real world
Right.
that you're
Right.
supposed to experience at OJT. So, pagdating naman sa mga smaller companies, like, oh, so this is how it is. Parang yun yung dating sa amin nun eh. Parang, ganun pala.
Yeah.
Parang, mas realistic
Right.
yung, pag smaller yung company.
If you guys didn't know, Elijah worked for us as an intern.
Yes, as
That's
an
why-
intern, and then eventually,
he's
now our editorial assistant.
Yes, he's our editorial assistant. He used to work on our social media stuff, and he write one of the best. I think for me, one of our
I
best,
remember that
best
article.
article
Yes.
is the Red Pill,
The
yung
Red
Red Pill
Pill.
movement. I think it's one of the best ones
At
that
saka,
we've experienced.
bago yun sa akin.
Nga.
Kasi parang I feel like parang usually yung generation nyo kasi is parang labeled always as woke. You're woke minsan, pero minsan yung wokeness nyo siya eh. Dalawa siya eh. May advantage to it pero meron ding mali. 'Di ba? Hindi siya perfect. Hindi siya as with any phenomenon or
yeah.
movement, hindi siya perfect.
Yeah, right.
So pero bago sa akin yung insight
Red
nung
pill,
article mo na yun about
Di ba di mo pa nga kilala si Andrew Tate?
Hindi.
Diba?
Tapos, oo.
Tapos parang kami pa yung nag-introduce sa'yo. kung sino
Yes,
si
tapos
Andrew
hanggang
Tate.
sa lumabas na siya sa algorithm kung may
lumabas na? Oh, I'm
Oo.
sorry.
Alam niyo naman si Mark Zuckerberg. Nakikinig talaga yan sa mga...
Right now.
Hello, Mark Zuckerberg. Si Mark Zuckerberg, ang tawag ko dyan, siya talaga ang totoong worldwide marites.
Yeah.
The digital marites.
And
Alam
alam
mo
niyo naman
mamaya
si
lahat
Mark.
ng topic natin, nasa sponsored nyo.
True.
Nakikinig talaga mga telepono natin sa atin.
Pero yung Red Pill movement, I think I've told and I think I'm going back to yung in a small company, you won't be able to get anything published sa bigger companies. Like it's very very rare, and you really have to be like, you have to really 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 do good, or meron ka talaga connections sa big company to be able to publish something. And shout out lang kay Elijah kasi honestly it was one of the best articles that we've
So
ever
visit
published.
www.hirayamedia.com
Yes.
for that article.
Ano pangalan ng article mo?
Flush down
Those red
pills.
pills.
Flush down those red pills.
Ang ganda rin ng art card. Shout out rin kay
Hi,
Ira.
Ira! Who also graduated!
Congrats!
So from CSB naman. Fairness naman sa mga bagets natin dito sa Hiraya Media.
Yeah.
Yun nga, parang it's better to have like smaller companies as your target. Kasi nga, yun nga, you get better experience. Also, parang ang nangyayari din, it's a way for you to grow din when it's like smaller companies. Yun nga, for example, here sa Hiraya, yun nga, like, first time kasi nung I told my friends about na, I'm gonna write an article, like, wow, parang,
You're living the dream. Diba?
Oo, talaga.
As early as now. Diba?
wow, ako nag-photocopy lang ko ng script, ganun, like,
Dahil dyan, yung mga next sem na mag-i-intern na ka-course mo na naging estudyante ko.
Intern now. Please send your
Dali
resume
na.
to Ali at
Gusto yan,
hirayamedia.com.
gusto yan trabaho Wes.
Gusto nyo ma-publish.
Opportunity and platform.
ali.hirayamedia.com. Please send your resume.
Okay. That's interesting in fairness. Pero totoo naman talaga yan na parang actually feeling ko there's really parang a movement ngayon na mas marami na yung startups. Yung sinabi mo kanina na parang talagang yayaman ka lang din talaga or 'di ba you'll have an increased income kapag eventually you have an entrepreneur mindset like a business,
Yes.
owning your own business. Yun naman talaga. Pero yun, parang ang dami-daming mga startups ngayon and feeling ko baka isa din yun sa the only way to beat meron kasi akong friend na hindi ko alam kung tama yung intindi niya, pero parang shinare niya na yung brother niya kasi is a fireman.
Okay.
Tapos, ang isa sa mga training sa kanila sa, dun sa, I don't know, it's a Bureau of Fire Protection ba yun or anything. Basta parang, may mga fires pala na, para ma-stop yung fire, kailangan nila mag-create ng smaller fires around it.
Interesting.
Parang ganun. Basta may ganung strategy.
Science doon.
Oo, hindi ko alam kung ano yung science about it. Ginugel ko siya. Or basta parang may ganun. If that's right, if that's correct, parang ang ganda kasi nung parang minsan ang hirap i-beat nung malaking fire. So let's create smaller fires.
That's right.
'Di ba? So parang feeling ko baka nandun na rin tayo ngayon sa industriya na yun nga, parang siguro may subconscious hate ba tayo ngayon sa mga bigger giants, sa mga bigger na giant pa. Para sa mga giants, 'di ba, na parang ayaw na
Mga nagmo-monopolize ng industry.
Yes. And talagang totoo, mahirap naman din talaga ngayon sa mga corporations kasi parang yung generation, I don't know if you will agree, kasi kahit naman sa amin pa lang, grabe na yung pag-value ng mga generations ngayon on boundaries, work boundaries, di ba?
The work-life
Balance na. Pero by the way, that's not true, the work-life balance, kasi parang, hindi siya another standard siya na, kaya tayo nahihirapan, kasi there's no such thing as balance. Maybe,
I am really an advocate of work-life harmony.
ay, same term.
I
Harmony.
love that. I've never heard of that
It's
before.
not balance, it's harmony.
Harmony. Kasi minsan, di ba pag harmony, pwedeng at this point, mas angat yung work, mas
Yeah.
manimla. Pero parang minsan, mas aangat yung isa, okay lang yun, di ba? Parang,
But it's still aligned with what you are living for.
oo. Para at iba-iba naman ng tunog ng harmony
Yes.
natin.
Ako,
Diba?
advocate ako ng 4-day work.
Four-day work week. Oo. So yan, parang feeling ko, parang dahil given that, etas nagkikreate ng better culture yung smaller companies. Talagang
Mas
attractive
gusto,
siya sa mga Gen
attractive.
Zs as opposed to
100%.
the dream
Yeah.
job in that big industry. Maybe
Saka-
may mga iba pa rin gusto
So, di
yun.
ba parang mas cool na I work for this startup na parang, very very hipster yung dating na parang, di ba? Di ba parang cool kasi minsan cool yung parang I've never heard of that before. Parang,
Can you tell me more
oh,
about
di
it?
ba?
Ganun.
Parang cool, di ba?
Parang
It's a
conversation starter.
I love that. Pero I think yung sinasabi ni Elijah, and I parang feeling ko na, kasi we have our one-on-ones when we were in interview.
Yeah.
We always had our one-on-ones. Parang what else do you want to do? I always parang, I think yun yung hindi mo rin makukuha sa bigger companies. And I've only worked for startup companies na parang there's always like one-on-one with your boss, with your media boss. And I think I wanted that as well with someone that reports to me na parang, okay, let me know what you want, let me know what you need. Yung parang pinag-usapan natin, and we've all, parang, okay, Elijah, gawa ka ng podcast, diba? So parang, ikaw gagawa ka ng podcast next year yan. Usapan natin later. Pero, podcast, diba, Elijah? Tinanong kita, anong gusto mong gawin, anong gusto mong isulat. But I think yun yung very attractive rin sa mga younger generation na parang, they let me do whatever I want to do within a scope of like, naman, diba? Parang, if it's a smart business decision, go, diba? Parang gano'n. So parang, I think that's one of the, parang very cozy.
You have an accountability body who are really hands-on and invested on your growth.
Yun yung, diba, maganda.
You're not just you're not just another item
Intern.
to check in his PL or PL, diba? Parang you're actually a human person, diba? Kasi syempre mas intimate yung setup kasi
Yes.
ng startups.
Intimate, that's what it is.
So mas person to person siya.
Yes, exactly. Kaya I really, parang I know, wala naman tayo minsan pinag-usap, parang 15 minutes lang minsan yung one-on-one natin. Pero at least parang gusto ko lang malaman, coming from you talaga, what you want to do, ano pang gustong gawin sa Hiraya Media. I always ask him, what do you think lacks in Hiraya Media? We lack a lot. But at the same time, parang give me your best ideas, like let's implement that, right? Diba? Parang yun yung mafe-feel mo na parang, oh wow, meron akong contribution sa kumpanyang yun. Na parang ako personally gusto ko na-feel yun na parang ito yung contribution ko sa
I'm a part of a bigger picture.
Exactly. Na parang mafe-feel mo kasi 'di ba fulfilling na parang I made this happen, 'di ba? I contributed that idea. I made this idea. I grew this thing, 'di ba? Parang sobrang fulfilling, 'di ba?
Yeah.